Okay, esteemed members, good evening and warm welcome to today's webinar. If you can hear me, just send a thumbs up and let us know on the chat also if you can hear me. Right, thank you. I see the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. So we're just going to get started. Good evening once again and Happy New Year to you all. This is the first webinar of this year and it's one of the webinars that we've really wanted to have because of a couple of updates that are currently ongoing. And we are privileged this day to have the directors from the board who will be sharing some insights on what is new from PPB and some of the usual things that you're expected to do in your practice. So today's title for the webinar is PPB license renewals, CPD compliance, and the PSK portal. And I'll basically be receiving some updates and also just getting some member uh, feedback and also answering some of the questions that you have. So today we have the Dr. Wilfred Ochieng, the Director of Practice for the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, who will be speaking, and also Dr. Dominic Karaoke, the Deputy Director, Inspectorate and Enforcement at the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. And with us also we have President Dr. Wairimu Mbogo, who will be giving some opening remarks before we get started for today's webinar. So just a few ground rules. You'll be muted during the entire course of this webinar. So if you have any questions, kindly use the Q&A tab. But in the end, we'll possibly give an opportunity for one or two to just raise your hands and ask the questions. Remember, this session is being recorded and it will be made available on the PSK YouTube page. So this is just the program for the day. We'll be having the presentation, opening remarks by the president. Then we'll also have some membership portal updates from Dr. Amos Manyange, who's the membership manager at PSK. Then Dr. Miles Monroe, the CPD coordinator for PSK. And then we'll also have the Pharmacy and Poisons Board directors, starting with Dr. Dominic Karaoke and then Dr. Wilfred Ochieng. Then thereafter, we'll have the engagement session, the Q&A. And then finally, the closing remarks by the president, Dr. Raymond Njoki. So at this point, allow me to welcome our president, Dr. Wairimu, who's going to give some opening remarks. President, karibu. Dr. Wairimu, I think you're muted.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're able to hear me. So thank you for joining this webinar. And as Dr. Hezron has said, the reason why we are having this webinar is to ensure that there's a smooth process to the renewal of licenses, because it is the season. And even before that, I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. I hope your year has started well. And now that we are back to work, I think for PSK, the team is up and ready to serve you. And if you're having any challenges, don't hesitate to reach out either on WhatsApp, call, email, and the team is just ready to ensure that whatever you need is done. The trigger, I would say, for having this webinar was number one, an information sharing session, where now we are able now to understand what is required in terms of getting our license renewals. Number two, I know it is I don't call it a new process, but it is a different process for wholesale dealers licenses, where now many distributors are having to go through an inspection. We welcome the board's efforts towards ensuring that the healthcare supply chain is actually robust and just verifying that end-to-end product from the importation or from the manufacturer side, and by the time it's getting to a secondary use, which is in the hospital or in the to the retail, that process is validated. And I think the third issue was now to be able to give members an opportunity to ask questions and also respond to queries that you have so far received. I know there was a questionnaire, so I'm sure Dr. Hezron will be sharing some of the issues that may have been recorded there. But the goal is to ensure that end to end, from a supply chain perspective, from a practice perspective, and also from a product perspective, that the patient care and interruption for pharmaceutical care is minimal. I think at this point, I just want to thank Dr. Ochieng and Dr. Karaoke. That's the director of practice and the director of inspectorate from the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, for just agreeing to collaborate and be able to just share insights with members and be able to respond to any queries that members may have or clarifications. And I believe that goodwill is what they're carrying even on the ground, where there are challenges, they're able to respond, and whoever who is not able to renew is able to do so. I think also we shall be discussing the CPD aspect and any new changes to that or what is expected. And yeah, please feel free to engage with the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, with PSK, and welcome to the webinar. And thank you. I'm so happy when we look at them. I know you can't see the numbers, but when I'm looking at the numbers, we are actually, the numbers are just going up, and it means that the interest for this is welcome. So Dr. Ochieng and Dr. Karaoke, in addition to just being colleagues, thank you for showing up even as regulators and what would consider the enforcement on the ground, and just to share insights, just to ensure that compliance end to end happens. So thank you and welcome, and back to you, Dr. Hezron.
All right. Thank you so much, President. We'll just now move on to the next presentation that will be done by Dr. Amos Manyange, who's going to just speak briefly on the membership portal.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'll just present my screen.
Yes.
You can hear me. Thank you, Hezron. So mine will be just a brief presentation. Let me upload my... please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Thank you. So, first of all, members, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Madam President, for that. And I'll just have a brief discussion about the PSK membership portal. So, as of last year, towards the end of the year, that is in December, we got shared membership courtesy of PSK leadership, and that will inform the next slide. So we have students and interns who are not registered by the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and their annual subscription fee is shown there. And then we have members, pharmacists who are newly registered up to 3 years of registration. And then past 3 years of registration, we have their membership fee. And then we have those of our members who are in the diaspora, that is outside of our borders, and are within Africa, and then we have those ones who are now outside Africa. And I hope this information was shared to our members. Anyone who's having a challenge with this, please reach out. And then I'll briefly go to our members portal. So this is the URL for members portal. If you just go to your browser, if you want to log into your members portal, just search PSK portal or the PSK website. And if you click on sign in, it will take you to this URL, and then you're able to sign in. If you have any difficulties doing that, you'll be able to reach out to the secretariat and the office, and then you'll be assisted on how you're going to log into your PSK portal. I'll go next to the process of membership application. So this is a 6-step process. The first step is after going to the URL shown in the previous slide, you select the membership category as shown on the first slide. If you are a student or an intern, if you're an early career pharmacist that is newly registered in less than 3 years, and then if you are post 3 years, and then you fill in your details. After you select that category, you will fill in your personal details, that is your title, name, your contact details, that is email, phone number, your address, the PSK branch which you belong to, depending on where you work or where you reside. And then the next step is going to fill your education details, that is your qualification, if you have a degree, if you have a postgraduate, the institution, and then the course, and you'll be prompted to upload the document showing that you went through the institution and qualified. And then the next step, you'll click on next, and then the next step you'll add your experience. And if you are specialized, your current employment status, and then you will also be requested to state if you are registered by the Pharmacy and Prisons Board or any other board within the country or outside. And then the next step after that, you'll be prompted to upload your documents. So you will require to upload either a national ID, this is a copy, or a passport. And then you will be required to upload a photo, an academic certificate, the registration certificate from the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and then PSK oath of a pharmacist. After you've fulfilled that, you'll be required to submit the application. So this last step is usually very crucial. On this page, there is usually the pay bill and the account number for the specific application. After making payment, you click on submit, and then you will be able to receive you'll be able to receive an email stating that your application has been received, and then this one will be reviewed within 24 to 48 hours. If you've filled in your details correctly, your application will be reviewed, and you will receive an email from PSK stating that your application has been approved. If there is something that is amiss, you'll also receive an email stating you to make the necessary corrections and then resubmit your application. Esteemed colleagues, this is a 6-step process that is very direct, but if you have any challenges doing this, kindly reach out to the office and you'll be able to be assisted. And the next slide, I will show you what happens to your PPB portal before and after you renew your PSK membership. So if you log into your PPB portal and your PSK membership has not been, subscription has not been renewed, kindly note that you will see the red text informing you that your PSK subscription details are not found. Kindly contact PSK to validate details. This will mean one or two things. Number one is that you are a registered member of the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, but you have not renewed the subscription for the current year. So if you do that, and number two, it will also mean that you might be a registered pharmacist, but not a registered member of PSK. So once you fulfill that you renew your PSK membership subscription, and if you're not a PSK member, you join PSK and your application is approved, then this notification will turn to green and it will inform you that your PSK subscription details have been validated successfully. And then you'll be able to proceed with renewal of license. If there's any question, kindly share it on the chat. And if you would like to reach the Secretariat for any clarification on membership, kindly send an email to membership@psk.or.ke. And with that, esteemed colleagues, that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much, Dr. Amos, for that presentation. So we're going to move on next to Dr. Miles, who's just going to briefly talk about the CPD process. So, Dr. Miles, if you can hear me, you can just begin.
Kindly confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you join us in this webinar this evening. I will be quick. So my presentation will focus on CPD, and maybe just for purposes of our own understanding, we need to understand the why. And CPD stands for continuous professional development. And it, as a pharmacist, according to the law, it is a condition for licensing. A practice license can only be issued if you have completed CPD that is prescribed by the board. And then every registered pharmacist must undertake CPD to maintain their level of competence for ongoing practice. And the board has the authority to establish and accredit all CPD programs. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the clinical, all of us, as long as you're engaged in clinical or technical work, with all sectors, you are you require a valid practicing license. And just a reminder that practicing without a valid license is an act of professional misconduct. I have this flowchart on screen that basically outlines the process as of today. Usually we get requests for accreditation of several events. We have different events at branch level or even organized at the national level. This event is usually behind the scenes uploaded on the PPB portal, where PPB approves an event and clearly stipulates the number of points for that event. Once the event is approved, as you can see on the area boxed in yellow, there is as of today, there is a 7-day open window for you to subscribe. Let's say an event is happening today, you have until next week on Thursday, to subscribe to that event. And as you can see here, it is once you subscribe is when the system generates a token. That's a token is linked to you, and the generation of a token is dependent on you subscribing. You can see there is a circle here. So that explains why we always encourage members to keep subscribing and always subscribe, because failure to subscribe, we will not have enough tokens to disburse to members. This basically outlines the same thing. So usually you would get a Zoom link, register for the event, and also subscribe. A reminder and a call out to always subscribe to events beforehand. This slide talks about summary of various CPD activities. I'll not go through all of them, just maybe the major ones. As you can see, as per the CPD guidelines, online events and webinars have only 1 point to a maximum of 5. When you look through it keenly, I would advise you to maybe take a screenshot. There's a maximum of 5 points per day. Let's say there's a conference, usually is around 5 points. So there's very many different CPD activities that are available for you. And later in the presentation, I'll talk about self-reporting. We also have a few activities that do not qualify for CPDs. Maybe you're a lecturer who teaches every day, or you write examination. Again, we have the entire list here. And also maybe you go for ward rounds, something like that. The list is very clear. And this is for our new members. How do you subscribe to an event? I have repeated that we need to always subscribe to an event. That is how the PPB system has been designed. So you log into your PPB online services practice portal. Once you log in, you will see the section on your top, the section at the top. Then you navigate to the CPD section. You can see there are very many different sections. You navigate to the CPD section. Once you navigate to it, you will find the screen that I am highlighting here at the bottom, and then you click subscribe. As you can see here, once you click subscribe, it turns gray. But given some few experience with the system, I would advise you to confirm your subscription through the claim tokens tab. So once you're done at the CPD tab, you go to the claim tokens tab and ensure that the event you have subscribed to is visible there. And then one thing to note is once you have subscribed, we've shared the token can only work for the exact event which you subscribed for. As you can see, this specific event was on 3D drug printing. So usually the email that sends the tokens will have the event as the subject. So you refer to the subject and find the event on the PPB portal to claim. Usually, in case if you get an invalid token, we advise you to respond with a screenshot to that email. Don't start a new email trail. Just reply to it with the evidence and also quote your PSK membership number. Again, usually tokens are sent to the email that is attending the meeting. Let's say you, like this Zoom meeting, you may have joined with your work email. It will not be sent to another foreign email that you have. And then you are encouraged to check your spam folder, because sometimes for some members, especially those that join with their work emails, it tends to bounce off or it is rejected. It is rejected by your domain. So frequently asked questions. I did not receive my token. When you have such a question, just look through this. If you attended the webinar, write an email quoting your PSK membership number. After you confirm the token is not in your spam folder, we will confirm your attendance and issue the token to you. But if you did not, we encourage you to attend our next event. In case you encounter any error, and I know sometimes you will claim and then it will not agree, I would advise you to try again. If it persists, kindly send a screenshot quoting your PSK membership number as a reply to the email where you received that token. That allows for ease of traceability. So again, if you claim, as you can see in this flowchart, did you claim against the right event? Yes. Just confirm again you're claiming against the right event. Sometimes we could be having overriding or similar events with KPA. Then you find a member is claiming on the KPA event and not on the PSK event. A token will only work on the event subscribed and the one quoted on the subject. What happens if I fail to meet the 40 CPD points by the end of the year? As per the CPD guidelines, you have up to end of January to partake on self-directed learning and self-report this on the PPB portal. Can I carry over extra points to the next year? Straight no. And again, for newly registered pharmacists, do I need to worry about this deficit? No, because on the year in which you're registered, you are exempted from these CPD requirements, but you must self-report on the PPB online portal and attach that registration certificate. And allow me to talk about self-reporting. Self-reporting is also on the when you log into the practice portal. This applies to all other CPD activities you may have partaken in across the year. It includes form of self-directed learning, research and publication of a paper, peer reviewing of a scientific paper. So the portal looks like this. You just fill in the category, what event was it, where was it, attach proof, then describe it, then submit it to PPB. So kindly note that these self-reported events are directly evaluated at PPB level and not by PSK. In case you have any issues, we will provide emails for the PPB practice department where you can launch a query. That's all. And thank you so much for your time. I hope we've been able to answer a few of your questions. And in case any is not yet answered, we'll tackle it at the end. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Miles, for that presentation. Next, we'll be having Dr. Dominic Karaoke, the Director of Inspectorate. Dr. Dominic, if you can hear me. Miles, I don't know if you're able to see Dr. Dominic Karaoke in the meeting.
Unfortunately, no. Maybe we can go to Dr. Cheng on the meantime.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So meanwhile, also, I'd just like to encourage members, kindly share your questions on the Q&A tab. It might not be possible to track all the questions that are on the chat because of the many messages coming in. So kindly share your questions on the Q&A tab, and then some of them will be responded to as we continue the session, and then some will be responded to verbally. So at this point, I'd like to welcome Dr. Wilfred Ochieng, the Director of Practice at the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, who's going to just also give a brief presentation. Dr. Karibu.
Thank you, Miles. Good evening, esteemed colleagues. I hope you can hear me well. Sorry.
Yes.
Just hold on. I need to shut something here. Oops, there was an echo, so I had to deal with it. I think it's sorted. So good evening once again. I think mine will be, first of all, to thank you for finding time to attend this interactive session. And whatever I would have liked to speak about, I think the groundwork has been well laid. This invitation was to come and maybe highlight a few issues related to license renewals and CPD as a requirement for license renewal. First of all, I think let me share my screen if you'll allow me. Just a minute. Hezron, you can confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see.
So let me go on into full mode, presentation mode, I mean. Oops. Taking you where I'm not supposed to be taking you. Just a minute. Okay. First of all, PPB, let me just mention that our goal is to promote a pharmacy practice that provides the highest attainable standards of healthcare. And strategically, our objective is to enhance the competence and capacity of pharmacy workforce and to enhance and refocus the role of pharmacy practice in national healthcare. So in so doing, it's a requirement for practicing pharmacists to engage in continuing professional development. And that's why it was made a mandatory requirement for license renewal. So the primary objective specifically for CPD, and I think this was already mentioned, is to ensure that professionals maintain a level of competency that is desirable, thereby improving their practice standards and health outcomes. And CPD is supposed to be tailored towards improving your practice in the area where you work. So the role of PPB in the whole process, PPB is not a service provider or a CPD provider. PPB is legally mandated to license your practice. And to link CPD to practice, PPB actually monitors the implementation of CPD. We accredit providers and also approve CPD programs and events. As already mentioned in the PSK presentation, whatever is approved by PPB is available so that members can subscribe and attend, and then they get their points. So just to highlight that this has been a journey, and we started this implementation in 2019. And you can see from the table that I'm projecting there that there's been quite some progress in all three areas that I've identified, beginning from the year 2019-2020, and I've given the figures for 2024, 2025 as the last. So you can see in terms of the number of providers, there's been a progressive increase. Some of them are active, quite a number of them are not active, and we'll be talking a bit about that as we progress with this presentation. And also the programs, you can see initially there were quite few, and we've seen a steady growth in the number of programs that people are being offered. The same applies to events. You can see there's a very, very big leap even in the year 2024, 2025. And that is quite impressive because initially the challenge that people used to have was that you require us to get 40 points, but we don't have enough mechanisms of acquiring these CPD points. So initially, the Pharmacy Practice Directorate petitioned the board to reduce the points, and the board obliged from 40, it was halved to 20, and this was implemented for a while until the stakeholders agreed when we were reviewing the guidelines that we go back to 40. And I think the compliance has also been quite impressive. I don't have the table here, but you can see the number of people who have been achieving the minimum points that are required has really, really gone up. We also give thanks to technology. You can see like prior to 2019, we did not have a lot of opportunities like what we have right now, where you can have almost 900 people attending a meeting late in the evening virtually. And so this also offered an opportunity for people to participate in CPD. So in the interest of time, let me dig into some of the issues. I know Amos could have mentioned some of them. The issues around CPD revolve around matter subscription. I think a lot of people attend CPD activities, but despite these activities being on the PPB portal for them to subscribe, they do not subscribe. We have seen situations where people want to subscribe even 3-4 months later, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense as a challenge. Probably it's something we can discuss and see how best it can be addressed. Then tokens allocation, I think people have had issues with token allocation, and I think Amos also spoke about that. But also with regard to self-reported activities, this is usually guided by what is in the guidelines. And the guidelines are accessible on the website and also through individual portals. So if you have any particular activity that you want to claim, you can look at the guidelines and then see where it fits. If you have any doubts, you can consult. Now, tokens validity, I think this is another big issue that has been arising from time to time. If, let's say, you attended today's webinar and you are allocated points, let's say by tomorrow, how long should those points be hanging around? I think it's only good to give a validity that is not like a whole year, so that once you've been issued with the tokens, as soon as you receive them, you claim them. And we've tested this process. It takes a very short time, probably maximum 1 minute, and you have already copied and pasted your tokens to claim them. So the validity, previously we have had very long validity periods, and we have challenges, let me put it, administrative challenges related to that. And so we think that the validity should be restricted. And then claiming of tokens, I think I already mentioned that you need to claim as soon as you receive your tokens, because the truth also is that as human beings, we are prone to forget. So, like I'll tell you, if I open an email, read it, and I say I'll respond later, there's a possibility that I'll forget to respond. But if you take immediate action, then you are able to do it in a timely manner, and you're also able to avoid that pitfall of this thing disappearing somewhere. They say, I've been receiving these things, but I've never claimed them. Or you try to claim when it has already expired. Then self-reporting, I think this is one of the avenues that we have. If and it gives an opening so that you don't have to only participate in events that are approved by PPB. So if you are able to attend any other CPD or activity that qualifies for CPD, and you have the evidence, it is something which, again, you can do self-reporting. There's a specific function on the portal where you can do that. And then there's an issue people have been asking about remedial CPD. If it is time you're applying for licenses, but you haven't accumulated enough points, the PPB system is open to accumulate more points until you renew your license. For example, today is 15th of January. So if by today you are applying to renew your license and you don't have adequate CPD points, and there are other activities that you're still engaging in, let's say I attended a conference in January, and the conference is relevant, I can still claim. I go to self-reporting, and the CPD points I report will be for, the points are allocated by license year. So if you go to the portal and you're claiming, you will select now for the points to go to this licensing period, you have to select 2025. The system will still accept, and you can claim, and they will boost you so that you are able to meet the requirements to renew your license. If the providers are also offering, like any provider that has renewed their license or it's already approved for 2026, can still load activities people can attend. CPD does not have to wait. You can start January on a strong note and actually participate in CPD to make sure that you accrue enough points to renew your license. Then now this is a challenge. There's been claims. I've seen this personally in social media. It has been shared by individuals. It has been shared in groups. Some of them are people we have identified, but when you try to track it, it becomes a bit of a challenge. We've tried to identify how they are able to do what they claim they do. That is selling CPD points. I think the latest I saw was I think last week, but one where somebody shared a flyer. Somebody was claiming they can offer a CPD for any health regulatory body, be it PPB, KMPDC, Nursing Council, COC, And then you're wondering, how are these people able to do this? Well, I can say this matter is under investigation. And for the PPB system, we've done a bit of probing to see what are the mechanisms that people can use to do something like that. And then there's a challenge again of points being awarded to those who haven't attended. This has been a claim. Personally, I think I've come across a particular case which I'm still trying to investigate who was able to do this, and it triggered a few actions which PPB took because we are looking at the sources, then we are saying what could be the reason why these sources were able to do something that we would not like to be the case. Now, I have added when I was listening to the previous presentations, and also I've read a few of the comments in the chat. There are people who are asking questions about licensing timelines. And if you allow me, I would like to take this opportunity to speak a bit about that before, or let me conclude the CPD issues, then I'll talk about this. But it's one of the challenges which I think our members are having, and we need to address and guide people accordingly. So partly to address CPD issues, we think that, and this has only been done once, a needs assessment to address so that CPD will be addressing training needs that have been identified by members. So within this year, I think PPB will embark on a needs assessment so that we can consolidate. We'll work with the CPD providers. Some of them are already doing on their own. So we know what our target audience require so that we can tailor make the CPD programs to meet their needs. Then the issues are already addressed in the previous slide. The challenges like timely subscription, I think that is very important. It will help solve a lot of problems. If I am attending, let's say, this particular meeting right now, I'm actually online, and I can juggle. I could be using my phone, my laptop simultaneously, or even if I'm on my phone, I can still use my phone, attend a webinar, and still log into the PPE portal and subscribe. So the question is, why would you attend something or attend a virtual meeting like now, and then you want to come and claim or subscribe in June 2026? For me, it doesn't make sense. I think it's just a matter of discipline and trying to do things in a timely manner. The same with claiming tokens. You have been issued with the tokens. Why don't you just take your time, claim them, so that you don't forget that email may disappear, may be accidentally deleted, or something like that. So if you claim in a timely manner, you put the matter behind you. The same with self-reporting. If I have attended, let's say, PSK conference, or PSK conference you subscribe, let's say I've attended the FIP. Immediately FIP gives me my confirmation and the attendance certificate. Before you forget it and the email disappears among the many emails you have, you just download, log into the PPB portal, and claim your CPD points. The advantage with this is that it kind of spreads the administrative workload for PPB so that we avoid the problem of towards the end of the year, let's say December, January, we have so many people. I was giving an example of something I saw in December where one person had applied for 43, had actually dumped 43 self-reporting applications in one day. That is one person. And these things have to be reviewed. So for the reviewers, they need time to actually go through and confirm these things and release your points. If everybody is dumping them at the same time, I'm using a bad word, dumping, because you had the whole year to claim or to report, then all of a sudden, bang, the system is overloaded with work. Then that workload may lead to delays in your self-reported activities being reviewed and your points being issued. Now, as a way of improvement, there are situations where we are already thinking about systems integration. And for the CPD providers who have systems that may need to be integrated with PPB system for ease of doing business, I think this is one area we're exploring. We've discussed with the ICT team, and we'll work with the providers to see how this can best be done, so that CPD you can participate, and then some of those points will accrue directly to your portal. Then, as a matter of quality assurance, you see right now I'm using my laptop. If I was using and I have my mobile here, you could easily leave one gadget. You are attending a meeting on your desktop in your office. Now, on the side, you are also doing something else. You are attending another meeting. Yeah. So whether or not, as long as you have steady internet, if it's a virtual activity, there is no quality assurance to make sure that you can only see that this person attended. But then whether or not the person benefited from the CPD becomes, something you cannot verify. There's no veracity. So probably we are thinking about integrating some means of or mechanisms for assessment or evaluation, so that only a certain threshold, with a certain threshold met, that is when somebody can be able to get their points released to them. And then PPB will embark on regular sensitization. And I think this is very key, because sometimes we may not comply, not because we don't want, but it's because maybe we do not know how to ensure we comply. So I've seen PSK has done a very good job in sensitizing about their portal and how you can do the various things, membership, and engaging on CPD. I think we'll also be doing that regularly if invited, or we can invite members directly, so that we address the challenges and see how best to improve. We have also provided quite some information through the PPB website and individual portals. If you open that portal, it looks a bit busy, but there's a reason each and every function that is put there has been put there. I think most people usually only interact with it when they are making an application for a license. And at that time, you're in a hurry, so you don't have time to explore what is this about, what is this about. So we need to explore. I think I saw Amos also showed, he showed was it a screenshot of the PPB portal with all those links. I think we need to make use of them. There's even a link on frequently asked questions, which is there. And finally, one of the issues which I identified we need to talk about is the role of PSK. I think PSK is probably the key CPD provider or link for CPDs for pharmacists. As the professional society, I think they play that role, and the guidelines recognized this. This was recognized in the guidelines, and that's why PSK system has been linked with the PPB, so that at least you strive to be a member, and also to make sure that you get some minimum points which are stipulated in the guidelines from PSK. Even if you are able to get this time around, I've seen there are people who have even gotten almost 180 points. Yeah, some people are struggling to get 40, others can even get up to 180. So the opportunities are endless, and I think I want to encourage people to engage PSK. We are looking at probably working on the system to make sure that it is mandatory, that mandatory requirement which has been provided in the guidelines is complied with, that at least a quarter, no, at least out of the minimum 40, at least 10 must be from PSK. So that is something we'll work with. It will be programmed in the system so that we are able to implement. So if you allow me, before I say thank you, I want to highlight the issue of timelines. And to do that, I think I'll take you to, just hold on a second. I'd opened, not that. Yeah, let me take you to the Pharmacy and Poisons Board website. I hope you are able to see my screen. Can someone confirm?
Yes, you can see.
All right. So this is the homepage or the landing page of the Pharmacy and Poisons Board website. When you go to this website, there are some interesting things that are easily overlooked. One, I want to start from up here, FAQs. This FAQs, there's a link in everybody's portal, including mine. When you click on it, it brings you to this website. And when you come to pharmacy practice, a lot of issues have been addressed here based on the feedback we get from the stakeholders we interact with. So on licensing, we have covered a lot of topics, what you can see in black, and at each of them, we have addressed the issues. We provided links, like here you can see there's a link to the CPD guidelines. Yeah, there's a link to CAP 244 here. Yeah, so we've tried to provide this information. It's on the website and it's also accessible through your portal. We're indexing when it comes to exams, internship, registration, enrollment, CPD, training institutions, farm reps, variations, and then we addressed here the common mistakes people make in licensing. So you can see top of the list is the issue of late application. What are the implications? And we also addressed how to remedy it. So we have addressed some of these issues here. And you can interact with them at any time. You can access it through your phone, through any computer, from anywhere in the world. So if I go back to the landing page of the website again, here we also have this link, which is also very important. This link on legal provisions, guidelines, and procedures. If you click on it, it takes you to this page. On this page, basically, you'll get all the laws that are directly impacting on your practice, including on products or practice. Actually, you'll only get a small link here, but there are many other things which, like guidelines, they're all here. Regulations, if you're talking about parallel importation, blah, 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 yeah, you'll find them there. But there's this last column, which also I think people tend to ignore. On this column, we have provided a link on how to apply for a license. So the mistakes that people make saying, I wanted to apply as my license has come out as a non-superintendent or blah, blah, blah. I think that can be avoided by just perusing this, because if you can see from the top here, it is instructions for a new premise license, then there's renewal, and then you have as a superintendent. It is very clear as a superintendent. Then there is as a non-superintendent renewal, then there's variation, and then just a minute, I go back. If you come back to the next one here is the license renewal and variation process flowchart. There's a new facility application process flowchart. There's a marketing authorization for those who deal with products, pathways, it's specified there. And then there are also, this is a later addition which we added, file attachment guide, because people usually have problems. Maybe you are loading a type of file which is the system is not picking up, or the quality is not good, so that it may end up being, your application may end up being rejected. So we provided also this guide. There's also a bit of do's and don'ts, which we have indicated there, and a checklist on what to do when you are making your applications. So why I brought you here was specifically to look at this. I've seen a few people saying that they applied, but their licenses are not yet out. The disclaimer, this one is a flowchart, and this flowchart is aligned with the customer service charter of the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. But we are trying as much as possible to make sure that we reduce the timelines as much as possible. And there's a way which we have done a risk analysis, and there are some applications which go through very fast, but others may take time because of the human intervention that is required. So if you see your application has taken a bit long, probably, but we are also being assessed, and all of you are aware of this ML3 thing, where PPB is supposed to be complying. Let me download that flowchart. We are also being assessed, including the timelines that we take to review and approve license applications. So it is both in your interest and our interest that we do comply with those requirements. So this flowchart describes the processes. The first part, up to 4, is for renewal. So if the process requires, if you apply, of course, it's acknowledged and you make payment, it will be, you get your receipt immediately. So that is like an acknowledgement that your application has been received. This is supposed to be 1 day. So when I say 1 day, we will count day 1 from the date that you made the payment. I'll give an example without mentioning a name. There's a colleague here on the chat. He has complained that he paid on 12th. He made the application on 12th, but it is still pending. Actually, when I checked the system, his application was lodged on 7th. He took several days to make the payment, so he made the payment on 12th. Then again, he resubmitted the application around 1 p.m. and resubmitted it again after 9 p.m. So basically, if you are expecting people not to be working at night, we say that application was lodged on 13th. So it is a resubmitted application, and I know it was pending. It will be reviewed. So the timelines have been specified there. The common comment we usually get is people asking that I have paid for my license, but it is still not, I still cannot download it. So that is just what I wanted to explain. You download after it has been reviewed and approved, because there are also cases where an application is declined and then a message is sent to you by email. And similar to what Amos was saying, the email that you use, sometimes when this is sent to you, it may actually go to the bulk mail or spam. So be sure to be checking your bulk mail also once in a while, so that maybe a communication has been sent to you, but you didn't see it because of where it went to bulk. I think I want to stop there and hand it back to Hezron. Thank you very much, colleagues.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Cheng, for that presentation. I see a lot of questions have been coming in, but I think some of them are being responded to as we go on. So I'll just welcome Dr. Miles again, who's going to assist with the moderation of the questions, particularly those that are coming up about CPD. And then we can start there. Dr. Miles.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hezron, and thank you so much, Dr. Cheng, for the presentation. I realized that Dr. Cheng actually tackled and answered most of the questions. Dr. Cheng, could you confirm whether you have visibility to the questions? Again, I remind everyone, if you have any questions, kindly make use of the Q&A tab. I see the questions streaming in. I would like to ask Dr. Cheng if he has visibility. We have one question on timelines, which I think you have responded to. Caleb is asking, how long does it take to receive approval for scientific office now that inspection is not required? I don't know whether you have a response to that.
I can respond to that, but I just want to make a general comment. For those who are asking about the status of the applications, I think the pending applications are still being reviewed. There are not so many. I can confirm to you, and this is good data, that as of today evening, when we started this webinar, when I checked, and this information is on the website, by the way, I did not show you where that information is available. It's displayed there on the website. We have 1,061 licenses issued to pharmacists, and then the facilities that had already gotten their license by that time, and this is mirrored on the website real time, are 4,634 as at the time we started this virtual call. So the question that arises is, if you want to be responded directly on the status of your application, I've seen somebody who has written they applied on 5th. Please put your registration number. That's the easiest way for me to search and give you the details. But I can tell you there are two situations that may delay your license. If you are working in a facility where there's supposed to be a superintendent and you're not the superintendent, your license cannot go through until the one for the superintendent has been approved. For example, if let's say you're working at KNH, yeah, so the superintendent's license should go through first for yours to go through. You're working at Aga Khan Hospital, Parklands. Before the superintendent is approved, any other person who has applied cannot go through. So if the application lingers on the site of the approver for too long, sometimes we decline it and ask the superintendent to apply first. So that is that's usually one of the biggest reasons. The other one, when an application is submitted and there are some queries which have been sent to you, as we assume that you received them, then you're supposed to usually we added the last sentence is, please resubmit after complying. So if you do not comply, then we are not going to look for applications which are in the, let me use that word for lack of a better one, in the dustbin, in the rejected folder. We are not going to look for applications there to review them when there are applications which are still pending and others which have been resubmitted. So that is likely to lead to delays. So if you have complied, your application is declined, please resubmit it. Click submit, then it will come to a reviewer. Last but not least, I think there is also the question which we already addressed I think from last year. People used to make an application to comply with the application timelines. You make an application in November, December, and make payment 2, 3 months or even 4 months later. The day the payment is made, somebody makes a call. I already paid for my license and I still cannot download it. That is not fair. It took you several days to make the application, and then the moment you pay, you want it instantly. Even the example I gave of somebody making the application on 7th, then resubmitting it on 12th night, and today, 15th, they are complaining it is still not yet out. Yeye mwenyewe alichukua around 5-6 days to make the payment. I've talked too much. I forgot what I was supposed to respond to. Miles, the
Thank
question.
you. Thank you, Dr. Ocheng. We have another question from Nicole on the process of applying for a specialist license. I don't know whether you have a response for that.
Yeah, I have a response for that. At the moment, what we issue is not a specialist license. You are aware, I think you've gone through the Pharmacy and Poisons Act. We are trying to make regulations to issue a specialist license. Right now, what we issue is a letter of recognition, but we have draft regulations which will be coming to you as stakeholders, and bado zimekwama mahali, but we drafted them so that we are able to determine who is practicing as a specialist and what that entails. At the moment, you make an application, there's a form, you get it signed by 2 referees. You need to have at least 2 years of experience post qualification. That is after obtaining that specialist degree. And then you submit, we review, and you are issued with a letter of recognition. That's what we do now to facilitate members.
Thank you for that. I hope that answers the question. Another one to you, Dr. Ochieng, is would you kindly elaborate on the fines for the delay in renewal?
Okay. I don't have that section of the Act, but under Section 9 still, the law speaks to late renewal fees. Actually, the law talks about you should make an application for renewal of your license at least 1 month before it expires. And that's why we usually open the portal in November, with the exception of what we did this year, due to some amendments we are doing to make the workflow better, especially related to wholesale dealers and some of those licenses that we are updating. Otherwise, the penalties usually accrue from midnight, 31st of January, 10%. It increases by 10% every month the more you delay. Yeah, but I think this time people are doing very well. We are not doing it for money. We're just doing it to encourage people to be compliant, because as already mentioned by, I think that was Amos was presenting, that failure to practicing without a license is an act of professional misconduct. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. I know.
Scientific office, I think I remembered the question you wanted me to respond to.
Yes.
Okay, scientific office, there's a challenge that we were facing. We decided that wholesale dealers had to be inspected before they receive their 2026 licenses. Now, this is a requirement in the World Health Organization global benchmarking tool, what we are calling WHO GBT. So when you hear this thing of ML3, but why is PPB not ML3? These are some of the indicators that we are trying to make sure that we are compliant with. That inspection must be a requirement for a license to be issued and renewed. So that was why you saw that we started with the wholesalers, that it is a must for them to be inspected. Now, scientific offices, the person who asked the question, because I have not read through the Q&A, there was a communication which was sent by PPB to stakeholders, and it was that you need to officially commit. Yeah, you write a letter committing that you're a scientific office, and there were specific matters that were mentioned which you needed to address, like you are not storing drugs, you are not distributing or selling from your premises, that kind of stuff. That email, I think, For those who are in that category, they must have received it. If you did not receive the email, then please liaise with us tomorrow. We'll clarify. You can liaise with the inspectorate team, or you can send an email to gdp@ppb.go.ke, and the email can be forwarded to you. I think that is the best way, so that we deal with it on an individual, a case-by-case basis. Otherwise, most of the people who are keen on it, I think, have already complied and they have already received their licenses. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ocheng, for that. Maybe to shift gears a little bit, we have a question on membership to Dr. Amos. There is a question, Amos, to you on could you clarify the membership rates for PSK? There is someone who didn't quite get that.
Yeah, I think I am able to clarify on that. So we have a student and intern rate, that is 2,000 Kenyan shillings. We have a career pharmacist rate, that is 5,000 Kenyan shillings. All these fees are annual. We have full members who 3 years post-registration by the board, that is 10,000 Kenyan shillings. And then we have 2 categories of diaspora, that is within Africa. And then we have those ones that are outside the borders of Africa. And that is 100 and 200 USD. I hope that's clear. But you can also be able to reach out for anything related to membership via the email. That is membership@psk.or.ke. I'll share it on the chat.
Thank you, Amos. And because of time, I have one last question to you, Dr. Ocheng. Could you kindly advise on the procedure for reporting premises that are not complying with the regulatory requirements, particularly a place where the superintendent pharmacy is not present full-time during the operating hours? Is there like a guidance on how to go about on this?
Oops. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there are very many mechanisms of reporting. You can either report by phone. We have the link. I don't know if I can. I wasn't expecting that. You can send an email. You can make a call. So I think there's a complaints. There's a complaints. I'm trying to see if I can get it. Where is that? Okay, if you give me a minute, I'll try to search. Then I may share my screen if I get the link for sharing complaints. Yeah.
Okay, Doc. Hezron, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Miles, and thank you, Dr. Cheng, also for responding to some of those questions, and also Dr. Amos. So at this point, I'd like to welcome Dr. Sami Masibo, our Honorable Treasurer, who's also going to give some remarks.
Thank you. As I think most of the things I wanted to say have been said, but I think one question that remains pending is the issue of the membership rates. I've seen a question on why it costs more as an older pharmacist, which is, I think, is the wrong interpretation. It doesn't cost more; it costs the same as it has always costed. But we also needed to be aware that when members join the profession, most of them would struggle even getting employment at that time. And so we had to be conscious about those category of people who, require some form of affirmative action. So I just wanted to clear that we are not charging more for people who are older. The rate remains the same. but the reduction for the vulnerable members, I think it's a welcome thing. It's something that even the older pharmacists should appreciate. But most of the other remarks I would have made, I think, have already come out from Dr. Cheng's presentation as well as the president. But very, very nice webinar. Thank you for joining, everybody. Thank you.
So, Hezron,
Yes, Dr.
if you allow me, let me share my screen. Okay, just a moment. Where do you share this thing? Just a moment. Share. Mepotea. I'm looking for screen share. Oh, I got it. The page was down. So, share. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes.
So if you go to the PPB website, let me go to the landing page. This is the landing page. So when you land on the PPB website, web.pharmacyboardkenya.org, at the top right corner, there is this where my cursor is, submit complaints. So you can submit complaints there directly. If you click on that, you can submit your complaints. And then if you want to make an inquiry here, contacts, if you want to make an inquiry, that will be submitted to, which one did I click? This is, no, just a minute, I clicked the wrong one. So you have this one for complaints, and then you have this one for contacts. When you click on contacts, there's the online complaints form here, which can be used. Then if you want to make a general inquiry, there's this email here, info@ppb.go.ke. So that one you can use to make any inquiry other than making a complaint, but you can also submit a complaint there. But for any other inquiry, again, you can populate this and send. And that will be received, acknowledged, and acted upon. That's what I wanted to add on that matter. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Cheng, for that. So I see we're also running out of time, but for some of the questions that we still have pending, we're going to compile them and then have some responses to them. And this will all be shared with you all. So I think, Dr. Cheng, I'll just welcome you to give some parting shots before we give it to our President, Dr. Eri, which also just give the closing remarks.
Okay, thank you. My parting shot is that I really want to congratulate members for working together with PPB as your regulator to make sure that we deliver quality healthcare for Kenyans. You know, our objective is the same. We are not working at cross purposes. And I want to urge you all that if you have anything that we need to work on together, we are one team. The Kenyan patient is one. You never know who you're going to attend to. And so PPB is not your enemy. PPB is your friend. Feel free to engage. But also, we have really tried to share information and make your life easy. So I urge everybody also to also make our life easy by engaging and making sure that we consume this information that PPB has shared. Where we need to improve, genuinely advise us what you think is best. If it is something where we require consultation, we'll consult and move together as a team. Others, thank you very much, and I wish you a very great year ahead. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Cheng. President, Dr. Wairimu, Karibu.
Thank you so much, colleagues. Thank you so much, Dr. Chieng, for engaging with us during this webinar. Would like to apologize on behalf of Dr. Karaoke. He was unfortunately not able to join, but we shall definitely create time for another one to make sure that he can join us, and the questions that people had, especially from an inspectorate perspective, are responded to. I know I have seen so many questions. Some of them have been responded to, others are repeated. But what we can assure you is that the team shall collate the questions. We shall send them to PPB or just submit them to the various teams to make sure that they are responded to. For those who have very specific queries, please note that we have an email at PSK to support members. I think I'm going to type it. It's support@psk.or.ke. So that's an email to support member queries. If you feel you would need to ask to do an email directly, don't hesitate. If you don't know any other email, just send the email to support. We also have the CEO's email, which can also be copied on this. But support should be able now to redirect the query to the relevant department. But I think we are seeing a lot of queries on what happens to the legitimate CPDs that people had that disappeared, quote unquote. So I don't think that has been responded to, but we shall get a response to that. But mine is to say thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chieng, for just engaging with members. For the record, we had just slightly short of 1,000 attendees for this. And that shows that there is good commitment, good interest in just engaging the Pharmacy and Poisons Board and dealing with issues. Most of the queries have to do with, I applied for a license and they have not been approved. Maybe what we can recommend, maybe from a PSK side, is whether there could be a way that members can directly engage with PPB on this or follow up, whether it's having a reference number or a ticketing, I don't know, whatever works for PPB. I think would be happy to explore, so that now the collaboration between members, between practice, between PPB is actually good. But all in all, thank you. This is a first of many. Keep sending your queries, because this came because there were so many queries on this, on the renewal process. And should there be more queries, we shall make sure that we make another request. And I hope, Dr. Chieng, I know you'd be ready to be able to support or to engage with members on this. So thank you and have a wonderful evening. Back to you, Dr. Hezron. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much, President. And for all the presenters today, Dr. Chieng, Dr. Miles, Dr. Amos, Dr. Masibo, Honorable Treasurer, Dr. Warimu Njuki, our President, thank you so much. And also to all our members, thank you for creating time to join. This was our first webinar for this year, and just be on the lookout for more webinars that we'll be having from various topics. So thank you so much, and have a good evening.
And maybe before we leave, I have seen a question on whether this will get CPD points. We are engaging with PPB because it's a genuine event. We're engaging with PPB to make sure you'll get your CPD points from this webinar. So yeah, it's good that I mentioned that before we leave. Thank you, and have a good evening.